Hello, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, explain single level inheritance in Java. Let me answer. There are different types of inheritance we have in Java. They are single level inheritance, then we have multi-level inheritance, then we have hierarchical inheritance, then multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance. In that, the first type is single inheritance, where there will be one child item. It can be either a class or interface, is inheriting the members of its parent item. Okay. Child inheriting the properties of a parented item. That's it. Okay. No more. This is a single level only. Okay. So let me explain more about that. So single level inheritance, a class or interface inheriting from its parent class or interface is called as single level inheritance. So what is possible, what is not possible in single level inheritance, I'm going to tell you. So as part of single level inheritance, a class can become a child class of another class. Okay. Here, a class can become a child class of another class. Okay. And coming to the next possibility of single level inheritance is a class can become a child of an interface. And third possibility is an interface can become a child of another interface. But only one possibility is not, only one way is not possible. One item is not possible. That is, an interface cannot become a child of a class case. Okay. A child can become a class can become a child of an interface, but an interface cannot become a child of a class. Okay. Reverse is not possible. Only these three things are possible as part of single level inheritance, and interface becoming a child of a class is not possible, but remaining all combinations like class becoming a child of class, class becoming a child of a interface, interface becoming a child of another interface is possible, except this one where interface cannot become a child of a class. Okay. So let me practically show you the single level inheritance. So for that, I'll switch to Eclipse IDE and create a new. First, I'll show you the first variety of inheritance, that is single level. That is a class can become a child of another class. That is here I'm going to create a class. Let's say class A. And inside this class, for example, I'll create a variable and method. Let's say int A is equal to 10. And here public void sample A. And I'll just write on one sample print statement instead of keeping the method empty inside sample A like this. Okay. Now there is a class. I'll create one more class. Right click new class. I'll just mention this as class B. Finish. And now what I will do is I'll try to make this class B a child of this class A by using extends keyword. We have to use extends keyword for making this class a child class of another class. Let's say class A. What happens? All the properties of this parent class, that is class A, will now be inherited by the class B. Even though I don't create variable A and sample A method inside this class B, if I try to create an object for the class B and try to access its members, I can access A and sample A by using the object reference of the class B, because class B is the child class of the class A. Okay. This is called as single level inheritance, where one class has become a child of another class. Okay. This is one variety. Now, what about the other variety where, the second combination is a class becoming a child of an interface. So for that, I'll create an interface, guys. Okay. Right click interface. I'll just close this stuff. First of all, I'll just close these two items, class A and class B. Now, I'll show you the single level inheritance, how it is possible for a class becoming a child of an interface. Okay. For that, I'll create an interface, guys. I'll just name this as interface. Okay. C, let's say some random name I'm giving. So it's the interface C. And here I'm going to create a variable like C is equal to 25 and some method, public void, sample C method. Okay. So we have a variable and method inside this interface. Now I'm going to create a class. I'm going to create a class. I'll name this as some random name, let's say class D. And now, can I make this class D a child class of this particular interface? Is it possible to make this class a child class of this particular interface? Yes, guys. But here I should not be using extends keyword. Instead, I have to use implements keyword. Okay. If a particular class want to become a child class of an interface, we have to use implements keyword instead of the extends keyword. Interface C. And here we'll get an error because the unimplemented abstract methods of unimplemented abstract methods of this parent interface should be implemented in the child class. So once I implement that public void sample C, once I implement that, the error will go off. Okay, you see error is gone off. Okay, so a class can become a child class of an interface with the help of implements keyword. Okay, so this is also done. This is all single level inheritance where either a class is becoming a child class of another class or a class is becoming a child class of an interface. And there's one more combination that is possible where an interface can become a child of another interface. Okay, so that is also possible in single level inheritance where, right click new. Okay, class here interface, right? Interface. Already I created one interface, guys. Let's say interface C is the one interface. Okay, already created. I'll create one more interface. Let's say interface interface D, let's say. Okay, some random name I'm giving. Now what I want to do is I want to make this particular interface a child interface of this interface. For that, I have to use which keyword, extends or implements. Here I have to use extends keyword, guys. For making an interface a child of another interface, we have to use extends keyword. Then it will be possible, interface C. Okay. So what is the problem? Okay. The type interface cannot be the superclass of one. Okay, I created a class, guys. I thought it is an interface. I wrongly created. Let me delete that. I just gave the name as interface, but it is a class created. Let me create a proper interface. Interface C is there. I am going to create another interface, guys. Right click, new interface. I have to select interface, interface D. Finish. Now an interface is created. Earlier I created a class thinking that is an interface, but it's not. So I want to make this particular interface a child of this interface. For that, I should not be using implements keyword. I have to use extends keyword. Interface C. You see, error is gone. So an interface can become a child of another interface in Java, guys. Okay. So these three things are possible, guys. A class becoming a child of another class, class becoming a child of an interface becoming a child of an interface. But interface becoming a child of class is not possible. If you try to do so, it will give you a compiler error. So single level inheritance is possible only for these three combinations: a class becoming a child of another class becoming a child of an interface becoming a child of another interface. Okay. So hope, guys, you got the answer for this question with practical demonstration. What is a single level inheritance? In single level inheritance, there will be one child item which is inheriting the properties from the parent item. This is called a single level inheritance. And with examples and practical demonstration, I've answered this question for you. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.